Good artsy afternoon, everyone. We've been talking about how to use our creativity in really special ways and ways that you wouldn't really think of. And so today we're going to do that again, and we're going to talk about sending our creativity and sending it using the mail. It's going to be so fun. So today we're going to learn about how to make an envelope and how that's creative and how to make a creative letter. So you might have envelopes at home that you could use, and if you do, that's great. If you don't, I'm going to show you how to make an envelope. You could use colored paper if you have some to make your envelope, and you could make a colored envelope, or you can use white paper. Today I'm going to show you how to do it using white. The tools that we need today are going to be scissors, glue, paper, and something to color and draw with. So I have my markers and my crayons here ready to go. Now this next part, making the envelope, can be tricky. So you might have to do it a couple times and practice to get it just right the way you want it, or maybe you'll get it right the very first time, or you might need help from an older sibling or mom or dad or grandma or anyone who's home who could help you out. I do want you to try doing it on your own though, or at least with help before someone does it for you. But what we're going to do, we're going to turn this paper into an envelope. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pick a corner. I'm picking this top right corner, and we're going to pull this corner all the way to this other side. And I'm going to use my other hand to hold the paper down so it doesn't go anywhere. And I'm pulling my corner over. And now that I have it over here, I want to make this side and this side of my paper line up. I want them to be right on top of each other and make a straight line. So I'm going to slide my paper until those lines are perfectly matched up. I'm going to do that one more time so you can see me what I'm talking about. So I'm picking a corner, holding my paper down, and I'm pulling this corner over, and now I want this side of my paper and this side to line up. So I'm going to slide it until it's all lined up and it's straight, and then I can hold it with one hand and use my other hand to slide and smooth that bump that we made. Smooth and slide. Perfect. Now, we should see on our paper a triangle and a rectangle. We're not going to need this rectangle part. So what we're going to use is we're going to use our scissors, and we're going to cut that off right along the side of our triangle. So I'm taking my scissors, double check before you cut, triangle, rectangle. I'm cutting off the rectangle right here on this line. Taking my scissors, very carefully cutting on that line of my triangle. There we go. And then we don't need this piece anymore, so you could save it for a different activity or craft that you make. But we need this triangle. Now, you have this triangle and you're like, Miss Mosh, how is that going to turn it into an envelope? Well, it's going to take some folding. So we already folded once. We folded it in half, and we made this line right down the middle. We need another line to go right across this side to make an X. So what I'm going to do is the 2 points that are on this line, we're going to bring them together. So I'm taking this top one, I'm bringing it all the way down to the other. Let me show you one more time. Here's this line, grabbing the top, following that line all the way down. And I can hold it with my finger because I want to make sure that this is all lined up and it's not crooked like this. My envelope won't work very well if my paper is all crooked. So we want to line it up as best we can. Both corners together, hold it. Use my other hand to smooth. There we go. Now we can open it up. And we have an X. And for this part, the X is going to mark the spot. the spot where we're going to start folding to. So now you can turn your square and make it a diamond. So there's points going up and to the left and right. And now we're going to take one of the sides, let's take the right side, and we're going to bring it all the way over to the middle of our X. It's pointing right to that middle. Hold it with my finger. Use my other hand to slide and smooth. There's one side. Now we're going to do the same thing to this side. Grab the corner, bring it to the middle, hold it, slide and smooth that bump. There we go. So I should have these two flaps going in. Now we're going to take the top and do the same thing. Grabbing the top, bringing it down to the middle, hold it with my finger, slide and smooth. There. Okay, we did all three sides. Now, this is where it's gonna start looking like an envelope. So imagine that these are the sides of your envelope. This is the top where you would slide your letter in that you open. Now we need to make the bottom. For the bottom part, we need to actually go in, but we're gonna keep going past that middle, up, up. And you can stop somewhere right in the middle here before you get to that fold line up here. So ready, I'm gonna grab from the bottom again, go to the middle, go up, up a little bit, stop. Other hand pushes down and smooth. It might be a little tricky to smooth. You're gonna have to use your fingers and switch hands. Smooth it all out. It's starting to look like an envelope. Now's the part where we're going to use the glue. If you're using Elmer's glue, liquid glue that you squeeze, you might need to leave your envelope to dry for a little while. If you have a glue stick, that would be the best thing to use because it dries more quickly. So I'm going to uncap my glue stick. And then this is the part, let me put that down for a minute. This is a tricky part because when we're gluing, if we're not careful and if we just took our glue stick and glued all over to close this up, then our envelope would get all sealed and we wouldn't be able to put our letter on the inside. So when we glue, we're actually going to glue just the bottom part of these flaps on the side that we made and folded. Just the bottom part, because that's where this part of the paper is going to touch and they're going to stick together. So we don't want glue all over the top and we don't want it in this middle part because that's going to close our envelope. So watch right where I put my glue. Here's my side. I'm going to put it right on the bottom edge of my side and the bottom edge of this side, not up on the top and not in the middle. Then folding the bottom up, smooth and rub so my glue sticks. Ta-da! Now my envelope won't fall out, and if you want to check to make sure that you didn't glue the inside together, you can stick your hand in and feel around and look inside and make sure that it's all closed up. We have this little pointy part that we might not want, so all you need to do for that is just bend him in and then push down and smooth. There we go. There's our envelope. Looks great. Now we just need to use our creativity to make it very special. So now you can start thinking of a person that you would like to send a letter to. This could be a person that you love very much and you miss them and you want to tell them how much you love and miss them. It could be someone that you know is sad and you want to cheer them up. It could be anything. So when you are thinking about your person, you can think about how they might like their envelope decorated. So I have some envelopes here that I made as examples. And one of them I made for a person who loves sports. And so I drew basketballs and baseballs and all kinds of stuff on them. And this other one I made for someone who likes to garden. And so I put flowers all over it. So you can think about the person that you want to send a letter to and what they might like on their envelope. The first thing we're going to do though is we need to write their name and address and your address on the front, because these are the important things that the mailman look at so that they know where to take your letter. And we're going to do them first so that you don't accidentally color where they need to be. So you can take a break here and you could write the address of the person that you want to write this to on the front, and you're going to put it right in the middle of your envelope. So I'm going to pretend I'm sending it to my mom. Her name is Miriam. And then I'm going to write my last name. And then I would write her address. And up at the top, I'm going to write my address and my name. That way, if your mail ever gets lost and they don't know where to send it, they can bring it back to you. So you can ask your family for the addresses of the people that you want to send your letter to. And then you also are going to need a stamp to go on your envelope, right in the top corner. And those are the three things that all letters need. They're going to need the name of the person you're sending it to, their address, your name, your address, and the stamp. I didn't write the addresses in right now because I don't have them, but that's an important part. Then when you're done with those steps, you can start adding all those creative things that you want to put on your envelopes. And you can do the back too. And you could even write something on the inside if you wanted, so that when they open their letter, there's even a note right there. So with our envelopes, we're going to need to put something inside them. So let's talk about creative letters. Now, I'm going to write a letter to my uncle. His name is Uncle Bill, because his doggie just died, and he loved his dog. Her name was Brooke, and she was very special to him, and I know he's sad, so I'm going to make a letter, a creative letter, all about doggies for him. So when we write a letter, we are going to start with the word dear. And that's what you write at the beginning of a letter. You say, dear, whoever they are. So mine is Dear Uncle Bill. And yours could say, Dear Susie, Dear Grandma, Dear Mrs. Quinn. Could be anything. And then you're going to write a letter to them. And if you don't know how to write your letter yet, then you can have someone help you, and you can tell them what to say, and they'll write it down for you. But mine is going to say, I am very sorry about your dog, Brooke. I always loved visiting her. And then I'm going to tell him about the artwork I'm going to make. Here is a picture of Brooke for you. And now we're going to say who it's from. Love, Miss Mosh. Now, there's my letter, and I could even make my letter very fancy, and I could draw colors or little things on the letter part, but I'm also going to make a work of art for my Uncle Bill that he could hang up on his fridge or put by on his door or a desk so that he feels loved. So I'm going to flip mine over, and I'm doing my picture on the back. So I'm going to draw a picture of Brooke, his dog. So I'm going to start with a big circle for her head. And she had small floppy ears, using some ovals for her ears. Her nose. That's her nose. This is her little doggy lips that are poofy. Eyes. And I'll even have her tongue hanging out. And then I could draw an oval for her body that goes off the page. And then you could start adding details and color and all kinds of things for whatever drawing you want to make. And then when you're all done, you can fold up your letter and tuck it inside of your envelope. This was my special envelope that I made for my Uncle Bill because it was all about his doggy, so I made all kinds of doggies on the outside. And then I put a doggy bone with the name Brooke on the back, and I even left a secret message inside. There goes my envelope. And now when we close it, real envelopes that you get from a store, they have a special glue that you can lick, but ours doesn't have that. So you can either use tape or you could use a sticker that you might have to hold it shut. So I actually have a hot dog sticker, and I thought that was pretty funny since it was all about dogs. And I'm gonna use a hot dog sticker to hold it shut. And then we can send it in the mail when it has its stamp and both addresses on the front. If you don't have stamps and can't send it in the mail, you can always make a letter for someone who lives nearby you, and you can leave it at their house for them. So that is our creative artwork that we can send so that people in different places can even have a special part of our creativity with them. So have fun. Send me pictures of your envelopes and letters, and I can't wait to see what you create.